core, the deliberate weaponization of state institutions to harass opposition members is most unfortunate. And this is the more reason why the National Youth Wing is embarking on this protest.
You're welcome back. This is Newsfile, it's the most authoritative news analysis platform, and here on Newsfile we put Ghana first. A couple of messages, some messages on the back of the discussion on Galamsey. Dennis says, from the presentation by the soil scientists, we are dying slowly. For some of us in urban towns and who live in so-called residential neighborhoods, we can't even resort to backyard farming because there is no space. Galamsey must cease. Kojo says, Sheriff just called Galamsey, quote, a matter of national emergency, end quote. So why is he against the president declaring a state of national emergency for what he himself describes as a national emergency?
Yeah, point of correction. I'm not against it.
You are not against it, not thank you.
On record, yeah.
Okay, Mancha Bruce says the Galamsey crisis isn't getting funny anymore. The presence of lead, mercury, and other heavy metals in our food chain and even in the placentas of expectant mothers poses an existential threat. If allowed to persist for another 6 months, the consequences for our Ghana would be catastrophic. The turbidity levels of our water are staggering. Mr. President, it is imperative that you take decisive action to address this issue. Crack the damn whip. Mancha Bruce II. Kwame Sapong Esiedu says that the government has plans to incentivize local pharmaceutical manufacturers to decrease our overdependence on imported medicines. The truth is, Ghana cannot dream of becoming a hub for medicine production while its rivers are bleeding and its people are being poisoned through Galamsey. More importantly, it may be difficult for the sub-region to accept medicines manufactured here. Let's pause and think. Enough of the excuses. The country is at war and we must get that straight. The country is at war and we must get that straight. Okay. Okay. Says mercury is a banned chemical. So how do they find their way into our country? This issue goes just beyond the eye, and pray we all put in effort to solve it. Samson, the less turbidity, turbid water doesn't guarantee even safe water. The issue is greater than we think and see. Sheshi, Airam Kujo, thank you all for your messages. And okay, thank you. Somebody just said, Senior, this your shirt, dear. When should I come for it? All right, so now why don't I tell you about my shirts that you want to come for it? A couple of you are talking about it. This is by Habil's Couture. You can find them at Ajiringano, opposite the Villa David Estates. You can call them 0200 84 1988, 0200 84 1988. Habil's Couture _GH. That's where you find them on IG, or just look for them on TikTok and Facebook as well. The number again is 0200 84 1988. Habil's Couture. And the show is brought to you by the kind sponsorship of Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN everywhere you go. Ashesi University, educating ethical and entrepreneurial leaders for Africa. Robert & Sons Optical Services, your comprehensive eye care service provider for 33 plus years. My Way Insurance, dial *165# on MTN to join My Way today. Syntax Tanks is strong, it's tough. Activa International Insurance, our clients are Passion International Facilities Management Association, very proud to be associated with Newsfile. This is your most authoritative news analysis platform. Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature. Valex Lease, your affordable document management solution. So let's then go to selective justice, among others. Richard Asante-Yeboah says that Galamsey operations are having a devastating impact on vulnerable populations, including women, children, and the elderly, resulting in significant loss of life. The financial gains accrued by 10 individuals as a result of illegal mining come at the cost of over 1 million innocent Ghanaian lives. We urge that Galamsey be stopped immediately. Dr. Richard Asante-Yeboah. Thank you all very much. I'm seeing just too many messages still on Galamsey. But let's pause here and find out if this government has been involved in selective justice in dealing and harassing NPP officials. Let's go back to the screens and see them on the streets and hear Nana B and the rest of them, the complaints they have.
The law is that you can, by way, file a defamation suit at the court. You do not criminalize free speech. No.
You cannot be telling us that we should be one people, only to treat us separately and discriminatorily. You cannot tell us that you are for all Ghanaians, but be going after a few. We support the application of the law, but not the abuse of processes in the application of the law. We support the rule of law, but not tyranny of the law. So please, this is a message to the government. If you cannot clean our water bodies, if you cannot give us jobs, if you cannot give our women money, please don't take away our right to speak.
Wow. There are so many issues happening in our country. The constant harassment, the constant intimidation, and we believe that there should be an end to this kind of incessant harassment and intimidation of supporters that the government believe that they are not on their side. But all these people are contributing to nation building.
Yes, could you? Yeah.
Something, you know, there is
The government shouldn't arrest people, shouldn't proceed to prosecute them because they are NPP.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Look, something. There is something that was said by one of the American presidents. He said that no person is above the law and no person is beneath its protection. Theodore Roosevelt, right? In a country where our liberties are supposed to be protected, we look to one institution or one pillar of society. That's why we had the three arms of government, the judiciary, to protect us. We know the executive will come in and use heavy-handedness if you say things they don't like. And look, the right to speak is not only being fought against in Ghana. Look at what's happening in America today, right? And they are 200 years old, and they are today. People are canceling Disney subscription and all that because they think that people are conniving with government. So the executive will always try to lean in a certain way. But when you look at that third arm of government, the judiciary, you sleep well because you know that when somebody trumps on your liberties, you can go to get redress from the courts. And for me, all legal people hold very one day sacred, which is a Martyrs' Day, right? 30th of June, that you guys have set aside and put those statues in front of the courts to remind us of tyranny.
Never again.
Never again, right? If it was to be in Tamkesier, you legal profession, you're in Tamkesier, will be 30th June, right? What is happening? Today, I am not even sure that if I enter a court, the judge just sits there, will give me the right bail or conditions.
Why?
Because a judge have sat in this country and said that animal farm, and I've heard you on your show talked about the ruling that was given by that judge. It might be one, but it's that one nut that spoils the bag of nuts.
I don't think this spoils the rest.
Well, that's fine, but it's possible.
The two lawyers
disagree with I'm not even a lawyer, but let me say this. The NPP is not saying that we are above the law. Rule of law, everybody's below. Nobody's above it. But if I have done something wrong and you call me in for an inquiry, let it be an inquiry. What we have seen, and it's become a trend, that people are called in and inquiry bails are now becoming as if the person is charged. We are all foul of one thing or the other. I mean, I'm not perfect. Something you might not be perfect. But we all know that one day we might err in saying something that will slip. When that person is called for investigation, let that person feel that the arrest is not your ultimate. The prosecution is your ultimate. We are beginning to pride ourselves on the arrest than the investigation and prosecution. What you say is not final. That's why there's a court. The defense and the prosecution will have to banter it out in that lovely courtroom, and the judge will now give a ruling. So when people are arbitrary, and that is why the demonstration went on, is the arbitrary exercise of powers, right? Where people feel that, yes, I am National Security Coordinator, I am Yoko Boss, I am this, I'm IGP, I'm prosecutor, I can now basically give you whatever bail conditions, and they are using that avenue to intimidate. Nobody has been sent to court. In fact, if you look at the people who have been charged to court, it's very minimal. The amount of people that have been called in for inquiry and the bail has become a problem. How many of them have been charged to court? So we are seeing a trend, and that is where the demonstration was saying that do not intimidate us.
Tell us, how many people, apart from Muntumi and Abronya, who had a little situation, who else?
Who else as in what?
Who else is it that has not been taken to court for the purposes of prosecution and they had difficulty with bail, and you are complaining about?
It's not difficulty with bail. It is the type of bail being set. And maybe if one person might be, a lot of people, maybe they have the resources to be able to give these bails, but it only takes a few people to be able to now make it look like, look, let's not. The amount of people that are called to national security, my brother, apparently somebody tells us, when you go there, it's like a reunion of former, everybody's there. They are calling them unfrivolous. And when you go there, like Abronya said in one of his videos, they are now telling you to now go and justify something somebody said. How? They don't have anything. They are asking you, it's like a conversation, and then when you are not careful, you say something, they'll go back and say, but you said this, let's dwell on this.
But that's investigative.
Well, that's fine. Well, that's fine, but I'm saying that
they will have the facts, but they will still ask you questions.
Nobody has a problem going. And a lot of people have been going. But the harassment of the Abronya and the Wuntumi example is the very reason why we are saying that the freedom of speech exists.
And the harassment you say is about the bail condition.
That is what clearly is being used.
They have told you Wuntumi was brought in, and the amount of money they are dealing with is what they use to determine the bail, just as any court does. So if you say the amount is too high, you are wrong, because they will normally look at, if you are being charged for an offense in terms of a monetary offense, and the money is about, say, $1 million, you don't expect that the judge will give you 500,000. Because in that case, there's incentive for you to run away.
Well, I agree, but that's why in this instance, there are so many mitigating factors that goes into when the court considers handing your passport and all those things that comes into it. Something, one of the things that I think the supermajority in Parliament, and we don't even know what they are using this for supermajority for. They've made so much noise about this supermajority. We think that, look, you will know that most of our laws is still NLC. Most of our laws is still AFRC. Most of our laws is...
Not most of them.
Some.
Yes.
Most of, especially in the criminal side, most of the enactments that were enacted in the, was it NLC?
Okay, so those are not in the majority. So for most of the people who are being dealt with now, they're using a 1960 law, and primarily a 1960 law.
1960, right?
Yes.
How old is that? 1960. And today, there's supermajority, and they're not looking at that law to change it too in time. When we, just post-colonial.
What did you do with ADS?
No, that's fine, but post-colonial days, right? When we had just come out of independence in 1957, a law that was enacted in 1960, in quote-unquote, in Nkrumah's time, CPP, when we are trying to have one-party state, right? The laws that exist then is what today, in the Fourth Republic, in the democratic dispensation, is being used to...
The laws on crime, have you found anything there that you say this is wrong in today, so we should change it?
Well, yes.
Causing financial loss to the state, all of those laws.
But that's new. Causing financial loss is new.
It's not new, really.
But it's before. Causing financial loss...
It's law.
Well, that's fine, but...
Before you say, used it to popularize it.
Okay.
But it's not new.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that we need to change some of these things. If a law existed in 1960, in today, 80 years down the line, or 60 years down the line, I think it needs to be reviewed. And I think clearly the supermajority, it will be done to them. And one of my advice that I've been
your suggestion.
I am not saying that, but my brother, what I'm trying to explain is that in today, the NDC makes it very difficult. In every party, there are hawks and there are liberals, right? The hawks in NDC are making it very difficult that the liberals like us in NPP would have it difficult if one day NPP comes into power and certain things are being done and we don't agree. Because certain things that goes on now, whether it's NPP or NDC.
Explain to me that there is a SkyTrain situation. Millions of dollars are at stake, and the people involved are invited, and they are put before a court. Is that harassment?
No.
That the finance minister, Kenneth Oriata, is said to have been involved in certain things that he needs to explain to the OSP. Then he's being, chased. Is that the harassment?
But that's not what. But that's not what they talked about. If you listen to the people that were interviewed, what has necessitated the demonstration is all these young ones from social media, and you talked about it in your opening, right? Some of the submissions that you made in your opening about the laws that exist now that people, in terms of free speech, that they want to exercise on social media. Just to understand, I agree with some of the things that people can just hide behind social media and say certain things and defame people. There should be checks and balances, but it is being aggravated and being used to an extent. That is why the demonstration, which is our right to go to the street and let the authority, look, enough is enough.
Did you say it's being aggravated?
Being aggravated, as in it's more often now than it used to be.
That's not true.
In terms of
that's not
how
true.
many social media people have been arrested in the last 15 years? Tell me, I'm listening. If these, you in your own presentation, you gave a certain number of people who have now been prosecuted. How many of them in the last?
Those I gave, they are not now.
They are not now nothing.
Yeah. The Mohammed, the Sotum guy who threatened on social media, he said the IGP, was recruiting some people and they were going to use them to kill people in the elections.
What date was that? What year was that?
I'm talking about, this is before the elections.
Right.
And he was put before court.
Right.
And eventually sentenced to 4 years in jail. So he's in the cooler.
Right.
This was within the NPP.
Yes.
Before that, this law had been used against a Connect FM gentleman. It had been used against this Thompson guy, Asepa. It had been used against Bobie.
Asepa was jailed. He was taken to court but not jailed.
Exactly. He was arrested.
Arrested, yes.
They were detained, really. Captain Smart, it was used against him. This guy on WhatsApp, they call it WhatsApp News or something. It was used against, I've counted 5.
Okay.
Within a short time within the NPP regime.
Okay, is that right? It's not, is it? Yes, we are both saying the same thing.
No, I haven't said it's not right.
But you said it's not, because in your opening,
no, I have not said it's not right.
Okay, so you think it's okay?
I've not said it's not right.
Thank you, but you're saying it's not okay.
I haven't said
whether
so
it was
either.
done within NPP or done now, what the youth of the NPP is saying is that, look, and I could just add my voice to it, is that let's look at that contest and put it right. If it was harassment then, it's not right. If it's wrong then, it's not right. It's not right now. So it's wrong then, it's wrong now. Whoever is using a 1960 law to go after people who are exercising free speech in whatever contest is being done, what we are drawing attention to is that, look, let's change what is happening in this country. Because if we don't change it, the trajectory we are on will be that, yes, you've counted 5 in MPP. We are continuing to count in under NDC. When is it going to stop? That's the problem. I'm not holding brief for people that were arrested trying to exercise free speech under NPP. I'm not holding brief for people exercising free speech and being arrested now under authority. I'm not holding brief for them. But the point is, something needs to be done, and that is why
that's the harassment.
That is what the NPP youth is drawing attention to. That, look, yes, it was happened before. People were not happy with it. It's happening now. Let's draw attention to.
You endorse such commentary by those people who get arrested.
That what? No, I don't endorse it. You see. Let's not make it.
If you don't endorse it, how should it be checked?
They should take him to court and let a court of competent jurisdiction deal with it.
Who has been arrested and not taken to court?
Well, Abronia has been arrested, never not taken to court and prosecuted.
It was court that granted
him. No, it was the bail. Yes, but he hasn't been charged. He hasn't been charged with anything.
He has been charged, 2 counts.
And he's going to go to court?
He's been to court and been granted bail.
No, but the point when he was being held, you see, that's the difference. I mean, I love something you're a lawyer. The difference when he was being held,
it was a court that was denying him bail.
Thank you, but he hasn't. If they have charged him, It's a misdemeanor. The court cannot charge you with a misdemeanor. You plead guilty or not guilty and be denied bail.
Thousands of people who do not have a name like Abronye get detained every day in our courts over misdemeanors.
And don't get bail.
They don't have a party to come and support them.
Is it right? That is why the NPP youth were out there saying that, look, let's stop this. Okay. That is why the demonstration was not just for us. The question
you are being asked now is that, since when did you realize that this was harassment?
Well, look, whether it was yesterday or today, the most important thing is that it needs to stop.
Okay.
And that's the most important thing. And for me, I think that the supermajority in NDC should use it to change some of these laws so that we can all leave and let's leave.
Okay. Yes, Vicky. Selective justice.
Yensuroahunahuna. Well, let's just start with the basic constitutional position, which is that everyone is free to demonstrate. We can all go and demonstrate, whether NPP, NDC, or each of us in this room. But what I don't like, and what I'm increasingly, what I can't stand is the hypocrisy and the double standards. Okay, and we like that a lot. Okay, and then the cycle of revenge politics. As the conversation that you've had with Kojo just now has demonstrated, NPP has done it, NDC has done it. So really, we have to rise above that. It's not a question of, oh, you did it to us and we'll do it to you, even if we have to dig you from the grave. I mean, that kind of talk, we can't build our democracy on tit-for-tat politics. We can't do that. And justice cannot be revenge-driven. It has to be law-driven. So we need to be careful with some of the rhetoric when these things happen. And, we have a saying in Ghana that if it happens to you, then if it happens to your neighbor, then it's on a tree. That's it. Which means that when it's on you, then it's on a human being. But when it's on someone else, then it's on a tree. So
that's quite a classic.
Yes, that's the saying that we have in Ghana. So, I mean, if, as Kojo is saying, the law is the thing that is at fault, then let's look at the law and let's amend it so that nobody will feel harassed. At the end of the day, I don't want to be harassed, you don't want to be harassed, no one wants to be harassed. But the way the demonstration came across was one of, hey, look at what they are doing, this is terrible. I mean, we've seen situations here where Delta Force people have marched into courts and yanked people out. I mean, so let's not, it's not helping,
exactly.
Look, I listen to, when you travel or you even listen to foreign debates and news, they are all talking, whatever part of the political divide they fall on, they are all talking about things that will advance their countries. I mean, and of course, maybe the method of advancement is different. The road that will lead to that same Rome is different. But nobody ever loses sight of the fact that we are heading to Rome. And that, I think, is hurting us in this country. The political thing is too much. It's not helping us. Look, states, nations are developing. And as I said before, we are at the precipice of the fourth industrial revolution. And we are still doing this NPP and DC, and this one did this to me, and this one, hey, we will do it to you, and hey, if we have to dig you up from the grave, we will dig you up and do it to you. I mean, how is that going to advance Ghana? How is that going to move us from A to B? It's not moving us forward at all, and I worry. I worry when I hear things like that, because I'm asking myself, do you really care about the country, or do you just care about yourself or how you look or how you sound to people? We really have to rise above. If we are serious about developing Ghana and advancing ourselves as a nation, then we need to rise above that. Nobody, of course, as for political beliefs and ideologies, everybody is entitled to their own. But it should not overshadow the bigger picture.
As we hear him, it's not about all the other matters about financial situations and all, including the Signals Bureau, former boss and all, but it's really about the use of particularly Section 208 of the Criminal Offences Act, and I used it on my take. Do you find anything wrong with that law? It says any person who, in any public place or at any public meeting, no, I'm reading 207, which Abronya got charged with as well. But the law he's talking about is the one about publication of false news with intent to cause fear and alarm. Right. It says any person who publishes or reproduces any statement, rumor or report which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public or to disturb the public peace, knowing or having reason to believe that the statement, rumor or report is false, is guilty of a misdemeanor. This is 1960. He says we need to change it. Guess what? In 2008, we passed another law, the Electronic Communications Act, and we provided in Section 76 a similar provision about false news. That one, the maximum sentence is 5 years. It's not 3 years.
Yes. I don't see anything wrong with punishing people for incitement and also for, causing fear and danger amongst the populace. But we have to be careful, and we have to do it proportionately.
Correct.
You see, that is where the problem is. But the general principle that you can't just sit in your bedroom and just be, inciting people and wreaking havoc across the country, I agree with that. So is the proportionality of it that I have a problem with.
Oh, right.
And so I think that is what we need to look at.
Right. And talking about proportionality, right. Prof, there are some who have asked the question. There was this young man, Jeffrey. He's a blogger. Perhaps he's not with any party. He didn't get anybody to come shouting for him. He got arrested because he had published that the Bank of Ghana says if you are a Forex account holder, when you come to the bank, you will get CDs, not Forex. He was punished through this law. He was, I think, arrested sometime in 2022, thereabouts, okay, in November. And then the trial ended sometime in 2024, thereabout. He would have spent 2 years up and down, going to court and coming back and forth. But he was lucky because there was plea for mitigation. And I think he went to jail for only 1 week, either a week or a month, just that. There was Adongo Isaac. Remember his recent commentary? Some people have said that was almost the same.
Okay.
The MP and who is on the Bank of Ghana board.
Oh, yes.
That was almost the same. He was not arrested. That's selective. Because he caused such panic. The Bank of Ghana had to come issue a statement.
Well, this is quite an interesting question I've been asked, right? And the premise of it, because Jeffrey obviously has no political backing, as you'd see, and you had to remind us of Jeffrey's case because there's no political coloration to what he's doing. This was just a blogger trying to get clicks, possibly a clickbait for him, and it ended up that way. But in essence, what happened is they pleaded for him. I mean, juxtaposing that with Adongo's issue, it's still very difficult to say they were the same, right? Jeffrey spoke on authority to say XYZ, it's happening at the bank. What did Adongo say in terms of his interpretation of what he taught?
Even with more vim, better authority.
Well, you see,
he's a board member.
Well, it's not about being a board member, right? We're looking at him. Did he speak in his capacity as a board member? Obviously not, right? There are several interpretations you and I give to decisions taken by the bank or even within media cycles. Right, because I quite remember.
You see, you are attempting a defense for him.
No, I'm not attempting a defense.
When the impact of what both of them said, it's almost the same.
No, I'm not attempting an impact.
Or even one is more than the other.
I'm not attempting an impact for him. Okay. Right? I mean, when it comes to issues of financial literacy, right? Both in Jeffrey's instance, Adongo's issue, we may say, okay, well, he is probably technically equipped with it. But when it comes to issues of financial literacy, there's often several interpretations or misinterpretations when it comes to that. Does that really fall under this law? Right? I'm not a lawyer, I'm not too sure. You could see how pleas came on behalf of Jeffrey in what he was trying to do. There are instances where even the media itself gets it spectacularly wrong in terms of interpreting a financial issue based on financial literacy by going after an institution by saying that it never posted any profits, right? Or it never paid any taxes for a particular year, when in essence, it hasn't, posted any profits.
Right.
So, it's a case of financial literacy against a criminal conduct, or for that matter, foul language. So I think the context is very different to what it is. Attack on a person's integrity, language that is foul against a case of financial literacy. Now, let me come to the real point of what we're dealing with against what the NPP. I think my good brother is sounding as though old law is bad law. But I don't think old law is bad law, right? Let's take it from the Magna Carta, 13th century, right, which has become the pinnacle for the rule of law, due process, property rights, checks and balances on a government. You look at the English Bill of Rights, 17th century law, same as the US, right? And all of this modern day democracy draws from this. So if the law was done in the 60s whatsoever, the question to ask is it bad law? But you even look at all of these new laws, as you'd say, laws trying to catch up with new media of the 21st century, still has a semblance of the old law of the 60s. So I don't think it's really a case of old law, or whether you have a super majority or a micro minority, if you put it that way. I know
he said they should amend it. They should amend it. And where me, like an advocate in the media space and free speech, will say is that they should amend it and remove the penal punishment and put monetary little punishments in there, but not to put you in jail.
And that comes to the proportionality bit, right? It looks like the sledgehammer issue here, isn't it? But I think that we need to come to that debate where we get there. But you don't need even a majority in parliament to make this amendment. Even if you had one MP and he feels this is it, all he needs to do is to rally his other MPs across.
You guys have the majority.
It's not about a case of majority.
What are you doing with it?
You had 8 years, right? This is a 9-month-old government.
Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo says that I am disturbed about the way the opposition tackles its political issues. This is not the way we got back political power from opposition a couple of years ago. It appears to me that the political class is walking this nation into the hands of the military. We must be careful.
I'm coming to my conclusion
and I'm making a firm correction about what I said earlier. I said either 1 week or 1 month. So Jeffrey Nyame was jailed 30 days after he pleaded to be had mercy on him. Recently, we had also another popular TikToker who was jailed 7 months. Well, he doesn't belong to a party, so nobody's coming to support him. And then I mentioned the guy who was jailed over the December 7 election issues for 4 years.
There's two figures, maybe in the persons of Abronia and Chairman Wontimi. Wontimi drove a sports car to the state agency, packed and went in with his lawyers. Right. Where was the harassment? In the instance of Abronia, where was the harassment?
They say grant them bail when you arrest them.
No, but grant them bail, we talked about the conditions to be met. The law says meet conditions for bail. If they don't meet it, can they be granted bail? You are a lawyer. When they met it, were they not granted bail?
They are saying you are the presidency, you are sitting at the police station, you are sitting at Yoko, you are sitting at OSP. So you are the one pulling the strings.
I don't even know any police officer I can call to say do ABC. It's just a myth. But in time past, how many of them could come close to the Jubilee House? Or how many of us in opposition could come close to the Jubilee House to petition in the course of a demonstration?
Dampari declared that place a security zone. Nobody comes closer.
What happened a few days ago, my boss, the Honorable Alex Segefia, was there to receive it, welcome them. And
that one is great, and we applaud you for it. Thank you very much. This all time will allow us. My guests this morning on Newsfile have been, as you heard earlier, Professor Dr. Paul Poku, Sampene Osei, forensic and histopathologist and former head of Department Pathology, School of Medical Sciences at the KNUST and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Dr. Albert Kobina Mensah, scientist with the CSIR, Soil Science Institute. He's also an adjunct lecturer. Victoria Bright is international corporate lawyer and entrepreneur. Senor Hosi couldn't join us, but we played a bit of what he had to say. Passionate and willing to the president to do something. Kojo Poku here is Executive Director, Institute for Energy Policy and Research, and he's also a member of the NPP communication team. There are many who share messages that they like the way he communicates. Sharif Mahmood Khalid is Economic Advisor to the Vice President. Have a good afternoon. I'm Samson Ladia Yenine.
You forgot to mention him.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
I did.
But the point is this, he's getting a lot of funds from his party folks that he's really communicating. And
All right.